without further ado, I'm just gonna go to town with it. So first, the thing I'm seeing is we're gonna need to unscrew this and then whack it with a hammer. So it looks like this part over here would be a size 10. Unscrew this part until I can remove it with my finger. I'm gonna shoot the dice and say it's an M6. And then from the bottom of this bolt here, it is 20 millimeters. It will do the same to this side. I believe this is also a 10. Alrighty. Alright, so once again, we have a M6 by 1.0, and then from the bottom of the bolt down, we have, it looks like 21 or 22 millimeters, which is pretty unique. Cool. I'll put you two right there. Now we got this guy. This is also a size 10. Ugh. And now the other side. Over here, M6 1.0, and I have 25 millimeters over here. Same with this guy over here. And this will be our little part. And of course, we're already at the worst part, which is seeing what will come out or not. So that one is stuck in there. That's terrible. So those are all the screws within the perimeter that need to be worked on. So I have tried screw extractor kits long before. These speed outs, these Milwaukees, didn't do crap. You want to know what worked? A chisel. Right now I have these screws loosened up and undone. And so what I did was I took a chisel, did it at an angle, and just hammered the crap out of it. Screw extractors, this only worked for one that was on the other side down here. Trail 90 screws are no joke, especially if the engine has been sitting out for freaking ever. And so what I would highly recommend is these Allen wrench bolts over here, stainless steel engine bolt kit. It's from Alloy Bolts. Use those. But given the fact that these screws are so stuck on, your best bet is either a chisel and a hammer, or you have to, for any sort of strip screws, you may even need to go to somebody to get that welded and then torn up, because I've already gone through 3 screw extractor kits and they feel like a waste of money, and nothing beats this at the end of the day. So just a little tip. Right now I'm just completely going off of vibes here, and what I'm gonna do is try to dissect the electrical to see what I have. I'm probably gonna be putting this together, which is a 3/8. Gonna put it in an extension, our trusty 10. So I'm taking this pin off, gonna lower this case. I'm gonna take out the battery, which has this attachment to it. And I will put this somewhere over here because I recently got one of those in the mail. And then over here you have this complicated nonsense in it. This is the flasher relay, something that did not originally come on this bike. Oh, that is a sad state of affairs over here. This got cracked up. This piece off now. I'm gonna put that over here. You can also see some of the remaining fuel lines that go through here. I'll probably take this off as well. I'm gonna take that off, this off. This is the other part of the mounting bracket, and it looks like everything's held together with this pin. Pinch that. I'll probably get some needle nose pliers. Now we're gonna try to push these. Wunderbar. I'm gonna try to take this pin out. We'll put this pin over here. So I'm gonna try to get out the electrical wiring first before I get all this mess out. I'm not necessarily worrying about these pieces because we have a whole new wiring set up. If I remember correctly, there was a piece that's screwed onto here. So I'll grab one of these pliers. Starting to see it twist off. Screw this out. I'll put you over here. Yeah, we need something to push it out. Alrighty, there we go. So this is what the key looks like, and we certainly have an updated key ignition thing that we'll put into it, which is pretty easy. So we have all this calamity of cables. A lot of this nonsense is put in here. So what I'll do now is unscrew this using a Phillips head that goes at the bottom of here. Looks like over here, this is a cable that attaches into here. And if I'm to kind of predict what this is, I think this is a cable that will determine the speed. So we're going to try to do this the right way by unbuckling that, and then unbuckling that. And so this came out of this unit over here. These units came from whatever hell they came from. Gonna put you right there. All right, so this is where you start seeing a whole bunch of things just pieced together, connected. And I think the only way we can really disconnect these things is just by going at it one by one. We have this wire, which was apparently flasher switch over here. Then we have this, which goes into this light. And it looks like we could possibly pull it through here. Unless there's more nonsense we have to worry about, like unplugging those. I'm not gonna worry too much about whatever because we're putting in a new whole wiring harness, but it would be cool to know how things get to the way that they are. Maybe what would be easier is just to take this out, which this is held in together by a grommet. And this little push-up piece in here, actually what would be helpful is to unscrew this giant tube device. I'll take you because you're the most easily accessible. So I'm gripping this metal piece and I'm just turning it slightly left, and luckily it's tight enough on the unit where I can just do a couple things. Okay, so I got this, and now I can possibly get this piece out with a little bit of muscle. There we go. This piece was the piece that was holding it in. It looks like this green cable goes into here. This cable, or at least these flashes, are being held in by this guy. Okay, so I got the flasher pieces out. I got this piece out. And now I can possibly squeeze all these through this hole. There's that little piece. Untangle that. And I can pull that piece out. We're a portion of the way there. Because of the fact I'm not putting flashers on these ever again, I'll just cut them. Oh my goodness. Good riddance. So over here, you have this little entanglement, and these go into the handlebars. So now I'm trying to figure out where these handlebar pieces connect, which looks like here, it looks like here, and also here. And also here. So all of these are color coded, which is nice. But now I'm tossing that down. Oh, nerve pain. So we got this portion of the wiring harness. So it's safe to assume that all of these connect into the speedometer and the headlamp. You have this section of cables that run through the electric start, which maybe that's something I'll consider. Then you have these. Goes through the bottom of here to the right side. Here's where the spark plug and everything is. Trying to figure out what the hell goes where. So we're gonna slide this thingy all the way through. So this is where the flasher relay would be. I'm just gonna unplug that. There's our flasher. This is the battery. Don't really need this, but I would like to save the battery tender part for the future. Let's see. Gonna cut that one though. Gonna cut that. Actually, all right, there's the tender. Here's the battery, which I'm gonna recycle. Over here, this is kind of this whole connector wiring system. I guess this is supposed to bind all the wires together, which there's a lot. This is holding all the things in here, which gives us a better scope. A lot of these are color coded, so they seem, it looks like this yellow wire, wherever that is attached to the black. Green on green, orange on orange, red on red, green on green. And I assume this is gonna be all towards the rear. I'm just gonna cut you. And then over here, we have a bonded wiring system. So goes to there. All of these go to here. This, for whatever reason, goes into here. I think I know why. Because when you press on the brakes, possibly this would activate the brake light. That's what I'm thinking, at least. I'll unplug that. Now if we're taking a bunch of electrical tape. For some reason, this is the part that always kind of scared me the most. And now we're meeting the devil face to face. So you have this rectifier over here, and you can see where it connects. That's green on green, yellow on yellow, red on red, pink on pink. And over here, you have your wiring harness. Out with the old and with the new. Good riddance. This is our rectifier. And then down here is a little pin that goes through here, but it looks like it's being held on by this orange bracket, which is a unique choice. So looks like you got some things on the other side that would require a 10. Oh wow, the fact that this is the easiest part that I've had to unscrew so far is just plainly astounding. So you have this 3/8 once again, 10 once again. Gas. That'd be nice. This one's lawn. You're a lawn boy. So these are your little hoses that go through the bottom of here. They slide through these guys and they go into the carburetor. And so it looks like this is where the spark plug and everything goes in. Looks like that underneath. And I can't really see anything at the bottom there. Over here you have a approximately 70mm piece, M6, and it looks like this. You have 3 M6 by 25, or actually, you have 3 of those, 2 tubes. On this guy over here, you have M6 1.0s, a 10mm socket goes in here. You have this piece that goes along here, along with 2 other, I would assume, M6, and you are by 45. You have those. You have 2 of these M6 by 10mm. I'm just gonna assume you have a bracket. Down here, you have your bracket piece, you have a cotter pin, and you have 2 M6 by 1.0s, 10mm, and that seems to just be about it.